The Pecan Planner is mainly used to draw offices. You can build houses. You can basically build everything that you like. Over here you have our view screens. So in these screens you can see what you're doing. I have a top view, a perspective view, and a left view. And per view you can change your render style, so in which render you would like to see it. And with our room elements over here, we can draw our office or room, home, whatever you like to build. So I will just show you real quick how to put something and see how easy it is. So I would go for the rectangle room, which means that I can make a rectangle room. Whatever size I want, I can place it, and I have a 3D room. I also have the draw wall, so you can draw single walls, whatever you like. You can make them a little like this, so you can have a weird shape. You can also say I want to have them a little rounded, and then you can have a rounded shape, which is not really logic in this order. And then you can put them together like this. For example, if I would say I want to have an opening over here, we can put an opening in it, and then you can open the two rooms together and make it as one big room. I do the same thing over here, so 0 there and 2.4, and as you can see, I can go through, walk through, and see through both of the rooms. After we've finished the walls, you of course want to put a floor into your space. You always have to select the floor. Then you will get just a random color, and then you can always add something to it. I will show you later on how to add the material to your floor to make it a realistic look. After we've put walls in it and a floor, we can put a door in it. You just point out two positions that you want to have the door at, and then as you can see over here, we have our door. We can open the door and you can look through your building. On the right side we have many options, and one of those options are the properties. And if you select the properties, you can change whatever object you've selected and change the height, change the width, the style, whatever you want. So you can configure everything on the right side. So if, for example, I have my door, I'll close it real quick, and I want to have a glass inlay. As you can see, I have a glass inlay. You can even change the height of it, and you can adjust it just as you like. Besides the doors, we also have windows, of course. So you have the normal windows. It goes the same as the door. You place two positions, and then you have your door placed. If you want to adjust it, you can just click on the middle circle, and with the sides you can make it bigger or smaller. You can also go to properties and change the width, the height, whatever you want. You can also put two segments in it, that you have two windows, and then you can open them both at the same time. You can copy that one, and then you have two of the exact same windows next to each other. Besides the normal windows, we also have a glass wall, which you can use as glass, but you can also use, for example, as walls for an office to separate them. As you can see, we'll make this entire wall, and now you have glass wall. When you click on a wall, you have all these red lines, and with those red lines you can add extra columns by just clicking on it. If you press on it, you can even adjust it, so you can really make something, a weird design that you like, and then you have something like this. You can do that with all of the glass walls, of course. So we've put on our walls, our door, and windows in it. So now I want to put something on my floor. So you can either go to materials. Every Pecan Planner Pro has a materials option, and in the materials option you have a library full of free materials. So if it's glass, leather, fabrics, wood, stone, whatever you prefer, you can find over here. So I can just click on it, then I have it on my mouse, and when I click on my floor, as you can see, I have the same material as I've chosen here on my floor. I can choose to change, for example, the position. I want to have the rotation 90 degrees, and it rotates. I can also make it a little bit bigger, so 1.2, and you can see that the entire floor has changed and it has become a little bigger. And now we can basically put something in it. So we have 3 versions of the Pecan Planner. You have the Pecan Planner Pro, which has the products library, which are filled with overmeld data. As you can see, there are many manufacturers. I think it's over 300 that are on here, and you can basically choose any one, of course, when you have the data to use in your drawing. We also have the Pecan catalog, which is free for everyone, the material, which is free, and a button towards 3D Warehouse. You also have the Pecan Planner MA version. You can get that from the manufacturers themselves, and then you can only have access to one manufacturer at a time. As you could see, I had all the manufacturers at hand, but if you have the MA version, you only have one. And then we also have the standard version, which is for free, and the free version doesn't have the overmeld data, so you only have the free library. But now we're going to use the data of Extremis, of course, and let's put this inside. You just click on the product that you want, and then you can immediately put it into your room. So I'm going to put it over there. The first click is to place it, and then the second click is to adjust the turn, basically, of your object. If you click on the object, you get a little plus over here, and if you click on the plus and you go to your property screen, you can adjust the object whatever way you like and whatever way is possible with the manufacturer. So as you can see, we have a price over here, and as I change my table, you can see that the price also changes. There are article numbers and everything put to this object, which makes it overmeld data, which is configurable. And as you can see, we have a nice table over here. Now let's put something more. You can, for example, go for the hopper and put this outside. Because the data from Extremis is very detailed, it takes a little longer to put them into your drawing, as you could see. Now, as you can see, everything is really nice. I can put it on realistic, so you can see all the details. You can see the details of the galvanized steel. You can see every little hole, every little detail, and the wood, of course, which looks nice. If you want to change something of this object, you have to click on the part that you want to change. So, for example, if I want to change the foot, I click on the foot, and in my property screen, I can change the colors of the foot. And as you can see, I have now the still look. You even can see the little buttons over here. If I click on my table itself, oh, I'm sorry. It has a little bit a hard time, so I'm going to put this back like this. If I click on my parasol, I can also change the fabric of it, for example, to gray. And then if I zoom in again, you can see the structure of the fabric, which is really nice looking. You can also change the color of the frame, for example, and make it a little bit lighter. And the price changes. So let's put a few more objects into our building. So I go back to my products. As you can see, I'm still in a hopper, so I go back to Extremis and I go to that one. Again, one with the parasol, but this parasol is a little different. So I've placed it over there. And now we have, for example, the black legs. And as you can see, the material is really something to be proud of. Also material of the wood. You can see the little structure of the wood, which makes it look really realistic. If you put a nice light on it, it will get a nice reflection. The reason that I change back to my shaded render style is because when I stay in realistic and I have a lot of objects in it, it will become really slow, and I don't want that. Also not for you guys, because then it would be really annoying. So I double click on my legs and I can change the frame color. I can also change the wood type, which is a little darker, but I like the lighter one. And everything changes with it. If I want to change the parasol, I click on the parasol itself and have the option, for example, to change it to black. Go back to the realistic, and again you see that nice fabric structure instead of just a plain fabric. You really get to see the structure. And let's put this one over here. And the same goes for this one. You see how good all the materials look. I can say I want to have cushions, I want to have a backrest, and everything changes exactly as the way Extremis provides it. The price changes, everything changes. What you can do in the planner to make it, for example, more personal, you can add a wallpaper to it. I already downloaded an image. I have the image, I downloaded it, and I just put it on the wall that I want to have it. As you can see, it repeats itself. But when I go to edit structure, I can fit that structure. And I have a nice, completely filled wall, which is pretty good in quality as well. Of course, if your wall isn't the size of the image itself, it will crop a little bit. I can also choose, for example, to put a logo into my building. If you want to put a logo in it, don't put it on the wall immediately. Just put it outside your building, and then you get it on your mouse, and then you can just place it the size that you want, the place that you want, and you can still adjust it like this. And as you can see, you have a logo on the wall, which looks like it's supposed to be there. Then we have, of course, a couple important things that make your drawing as realistic as possible. And that is, of course, lighting. If you, for example, have a wallpaper like this and you want to light it up a little bit, you can use area lighting and put the area lighting as close as possible to that wall. And then with the little square on it, when it becomes green, you can adjust the size of it and make the size the same size as that wallpaper. Again, on the properties, you can change everything. 1500 is a lot for wallpaper. I would go like 100 or 150 just to light it up a little bit. Then we put direct lighting into our building, and direct lighting is basically sunlighting. So you can just place it somewhere and then let it shine into your place. As you can see, it is now on the floor, but I want to have a little bit up. I go back to my properties. Really important is to real-time render shadows. Otherwise, you won't see the shadows, and then the render won't be as realistic as possible. The intensity of sunlight can be a little bit bigger, so 900, 1000 even. And I want to make it a little bit more yellowish. because it's a little warmer. So yellow or orange. If you, for example, have a more evening look, you can go to more orange or red color of light. And just to give you a real short expression, as you can see, you have the nice shadows over here. The colors changed, and it makes it look realistic. Well, more than it was a few minutes ago. Another thing that we can do, just to have the decoration and everything look as whole, we can put blinds into our windows. As you can see over there, let's put it on all these glass walls. I now have the vertical ones, as you can see, but I want the horizontal ones. And I want to have the thickness a little bit thicker, so I have them a little bit bigger. And I can have my opening angle, for example, on 90 degrees. Put it a little bit from the floor, so let's say 1 meter, and then you get that. I want to do the same thing to the other ones, but I don't want to do it all again. So I just copy those, paste it to the bottom, and I give those other windows the same properties. And they immediately change. So I want to have this one a little higher because we have, of course, our products outside, so we can look outside a little bit better. And same goes for this one. So that's a 2.1. Oh, 220 also good. And then you get the idea. So also to touch it up a little bit and make it a little nicer, we can include the sticks into the room. And the nice thing about this is that we can make an array basically. So let's say I want to have like from here, and I want to have a couple going under. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it, so I put this a little bit like this and like this. If you go to edit, you have the option to array. And when you array, you have to select 2 points of your object. I'm going to do it like exactly correct. So this is 1 point, and this is the other one. And as you can see, I immediately get another one copied to my mouse. I want to have it exactly next to the other one. And then in the blue, I can give how many times I want to have it copied. I want to say, let's say 12 times. And as you can see, I have 12 copies of the sticks, all put nicely next to each other. The same goes with the sticks as all the other products of Extremis. You click on the part that you want to change. So if I want to have the colors of the sticks change, I click on the sticks itself. And then when I go to properties, I can change the colors of the sticks only. If I want to have the base in another color, I click on the base. And the base goes to another color. And this goes for all of them, of course. So I click on it. Dark wood. And I want to go to the sticks again. And I make them, for example, black. And then you can copy. Let's say I like this style over here, the green one with the black rubber under base. But I don't want to change them all. What you can do is, if you have the Pecan Planner Pro, you can go to article selection. We can go to Extremis and then the sticks. I can select them all. And then I go to edit, I do replace, and I click on the one I want to have them replaced in. And as you can see, they all replace in the same color. And I didn't have to do that every time again. And I now only have 12, which is also a lot. But if you, for example, have a whole office space or whatever building, it takes a lot of time to do that. Of course, you can also say, I want to put something else in it. So from another manufacturer, so a chair, or let's put a nice chair in it, just to see what it does. just right in front of the door, but that's no problem. And also this I can change, for example. So to finish up the building, we also place a ceiling, which is really important, because if you don't put a ceiling, then the light isn't really accurate in the space that you're trying to render, for example. I just click on my building, and then you get a red outlining, and then I place my ceiling, as you can see. If you click on the ceiling and you go to properties, you can go for a grid ceiling. Then you get this, and you can place lamps in it, so spotlights or whatever other type you like. I'm just going to place some randomly. I want to have them spots, and if we look now into our building, you can see these little frames. I put the lights on, you can see the lights, but I don't want to see the frame, and I'm going to click out, the frame is gone. So these aren't really light, they don't really provide light, but it just gives a nice look that there's some light in the room, as you can see. So if you would say, I want to have this look rendered real quick, you just place your viewpoint as you like. You can also place cameras into the room if you like, and then the camera will make your view. You go to image, you select it, and then you go press on the play, and then it basically starts to render. Here on the down, you can always see what time it takes to render. As you can see, it's pretty dark inside because we haven't put actual light in it, but you can see that the wallpaper is really lighting up, which gives that extra effect that you would like. I'm not going to render it the entire time because it takes too long. Of course, how bigger the size, how bigger your condition is, how bigger your drawing is, so how more the more light you have, the more objects you have, the harder and the longer it takes for the product to program to render. So I'm just going to stop it, which is just a real quick look of it. If you want to have a view, for example, from over here, you get this white background, which is kind of boring and not giving the right impression. So you can place a HDRI background, which are basically panoramas of spaces you can choose. You can even make one yourself. The most important thing is to have a good quality. I just put some, for example, and as you can see, it really looks like you're outside now. Of course, you can change your angle to make it look a little bit better, and your rotation, you can rotate the look that you're looking at. So I want to have like this. You can also put the same HDRI to your lightning, and then you get the same light as your image inside your building. So let's do this in a render real quick, then you can see what it does. You can see the shadow of the sun, the glass reflection. I'm also going to stop it right here. Like I said, the reflection, you can see the products, the floor looks nice. And how longer you render it, how better it looks. So let's say you have all these products and you want to have them an invoice sent to your customers in the Pecan Planner Pro. You can make an article list, and I can directly be sent to the Pecan Basket. The Pecan Basket is another application that you need, and in this program you can put together the entire invoice and send it to your customer or the manufacturer itself. So I'm gonna make it an organizer view. And you get all the images, and you can also see every little part that is needed for your products. So you don't have to look it up anymore. So if, for example, if you want to have the top shade, which connector you need, because the program connects it automatically himself. I can also change, say, for example, I want this color to change. So then I can go to configuration, and I can change the color of it. And then if I go back, the color is entirely changed. The nice thing that you can do in a Pecan basket is you can also give and change the prices. So if I go to article calculation and I add the vendor discount, for example, you can say I get 30 discount from the vendor and I want to have a margin of 15%. And then you can see I can go to 17.60% to give to my customers. You can do this per product. So I've done it now with the Marina one. I can also do it, for example, with this one. So 30 over here, 15 margin, and then the same discount. This one actually needs to go. Do the same over here. So I add the vendor, I do 30% over there, and then 50% margin. And everywhere the same discount. If you go to the header calculation, you can see your total discounts and price and everything. You can change your valued ad, and I can make, for example, extra charges. So let's say installation costs. If you don't know how much the percentage is, you can also just type in the number that you want to have. So let's say 1,000 euros. And then when I go to my preview, you can put on your own logo in there. As you can see, per product that you have the discount on, you can see the discount, you can see the unit price, the total price, and how many times you have that product. So every detail, every article number is placed in here. Every little piece that you need, every connector that you need is put together. Here again, you have a discount, and over here again, you have a discount. And then in the end, you can see your total price, you can see the installation cost that we just installed, the VAT, which is 90%, which is not correct, but you can change it, for example, to 21 or whatever region you're in. And you can see the total price. You can send this immediately via mail. You can download it in another OPK file, so you can use it again in the Pecan basket. But you can also export it, for example, as a CSV export, and then you can use it in Excel. So this is a really easy way to just have an invoice and send them immediately to your customer. It also saves you a lot of time. You don't have to put every product in it anymore. You don't have to look up all your article numbers or the prices, because this is all correct. And if you already have done it from your drawing and you've sent it to your customer and it says, well, I want to have another one, you can still go to Extremis over here. Let me see where it is. For example, there. And I want to add another one, and it just adds the other product with, again, the correct pieces. And then I can still say I want to change that one as well. So 30% over there, 15% margin, and I can give a little bit more discount on here. I can give 20. And if I go back to my preview again, you can see I think it's on the bottom, that is over there with the discount and everything correct. You also see that the amount changes as many times that you have that product with the unit price and the total price. So this is the Pecan basket, which you can combine with your Pecan planner, but you can also use it separately, so you won't need a Pecan planner. But this makes it just nicer for you to use everything together. And if you do it nicely, you can get a render, for example. I'm going to show you also the two apps that we have. We have Pecan Box and Pecan Fax. And these are really important for the point of sales. So for the dealers, or if you visit your customers yourself. So I'm going to connect with my phone. real quick. And 0, 8, 9. Okay. And now you can all see my phone. So we have two options. We have the Pecan Flex. The difference between the Pecan Flex and the Pecan Box is that in the Pecan Flex, you also have the article numbers, you have the prices, and you can also make like small invoices and send those to the customers directly, to yourself, to your colleagues, whatever you want. You can't do the discount, just as we did with the basket, but it's just a smaller version of it. So here you also see all the manufacturers that are available on there. And we go to Extremis. Let's go for this one. I just click on it. I'm not sure if the computer can handle it, but we'll see how far we'll come. And as you can see, you can already see all the prices. You see the sizes and the type. If you go to properties over here, you can again change everything that you like. And it will change immediately in the image on top. I can add floor fastening, but you won't see it. And for example, a parasol, yes or no. It is an option to put a better description over here. It is also possible if you have, for example, a PIM system, that you can put certificates, brochures, more images, and installation manuals, just to show people that you have everything under your finger. So with images, I can say I want to have an image of this. I can change my view, make an image of that. And as you can see here over images, I automatically get those images saved. You can also say I want to know the dimensions, and then you can see the dimensions. I make a picture of that, and you can just play. For example, if you want a picture of the bottom, you can just play with that. If your customer wants to know, for example, how this looks in their office or garden, or you can go to the ER mode. I'm going to try and see if it works. And as you can see, it's in the room. The room is a little bit smaller, but still it looks really nice. You can see all the little details over there. And you can say I want to make a picture of it. And then you can see that the image is added here with the rest of the images. So if I want to have this, I go to the blue button, I make it a test version, press an OK, and I've put it into my bag. I have pieces here. I want to make, for example, 5 pieces. The price will change. You have all the options. For example, the floor fastening is already over there, which you couldn't see, but the program has put it into your description. And then you can put, of course, again, your own descriptions over there. You can say, I want to make an article list of it, and you can send it in a PDF, or you can immediately send it via mail. And here we have the same things as we could see. So all the options that you have, the price, the article numbers, whatever you chose. You can also say, I want to make a product sheet of it, again with the PDF, and then you see all the images that we have and just a little information over there. And also this you can save, you can send to the clients, you can do with it whatever you prefer. And then of course you can make again an Excel export, so you can edit it in Excel or an OB key, and then you can edit it in the Pecan basket immediately. So this is basically the Pecan Fox. And then you can also choose to put more information to it. The more information you have, the easier it is for your dealers, for your for everyone who uses it. Then we have the Pecan Box, and the Pecan Box is a similar one, but the Pecan Box, for example, also have the option Extremis. Let's go with this one. This is like really a mini version of the Pecan Planner. As you can see over there, I can say I want to clone it, and you have 2 of them. I can configure it, so change the colors. As you can see, it's in German. I don't know why, because I already changed it. And then you have this. The difference with the AR version of the box and the Pecan Fax is with the Pecan Box, you can make a selection, so you can put more products together in a room. And with the Pecan Fax, you can only put one product per time in a room. So if I have this table and I want to have the sticks with it, and then that one, and then I go for the ER option. It's a little bit too big. You see that you didn't see the floor correctly, that's why it's somewhere in the air. But you can see that you both have the sticks and the table itself. And then you can make a picture of it just to see how it looks in a room. And then you have the gallery option, and in the gallery you can see all the images. What you also can do is, if you, for example, have a, let me see, new project. If you have a customer who has a floor plan with them, you can choose to update the floor plan. So I now have a floor plan in front of me. I printed it out, and I can take a photo of it. I can use this, and then it asks me to select a dimension. So I can see that it's 260 over here, and then over there. I go to next, I put in 2.6, next, and I can select the room. And as you can see, I have the entire floor plan into my drawing. And then I can say I want to have, go for high table, and put it in that room. And then I want to have it twice. Oh. And then you can work with it like that. So you just have a miniature version of the planner by hand. Of course, you can do the same thing in the Pecan Planner itself. You can export a DBG file, an image, or a PDF. And then when you put it inside your room, you can just copy it and use it as your real floor plan and just draw above the floor plan. So this is just in a really quick version, the possibilities with the Pecan Planner, the Pecan Basket, Pecan Fax, Pecan Box. Of course, the Pecan Box and the Pecan Fax are both for free. The Planner Pro version is a paid one, and then the MA and the standard version are for free, but you will need at least the MA version to work. Oh yeah, I get a good one from Crawl. We also have the option to do the animation, and then you can make a quick animation of your room. I'm going to delete this chair and put the door open so we can really go into the door. I put on animation. The first position you place is a position that you're going to walk, and then the second position you choose is a position that you're going to look at. So I'm going to look like this. Look at the wall. Look at this. We have to walk a little bit around the sticks. I'll go over there. Look over there. And in my perspective, I can see what it does. So if I click on play, you get a little animation, a video of your design. You cannot change the duration of it, so the speed, but if you want to have it to have a little bit if you want it to go a little bit slower, let's stop it. Then you can adjust those points. So the lesser points you have, the slower it will become. And you can always adjust it after you've already drawn it. You can do two things if you have an animation. You can either just play it on this, make it full screen. You can also go for full screen option, and then just show it like this. But you can also render it. So you can go to video rendering, and then it will render the entire animation that we just made. The only thing to keep in mind is that a video rendering will take a long time to do so, because of course you have a lot of images that you're rendering at the same time. So if you want to do this, it is of course possible. It works really nice and you can share it easily. Just put your computer on the side for a few hours, or just put it on when you go to home and then let it render the entire night. And then if you're lucky, it will be finished in the morning.